All right, we are officially recording. All right, well, thank you, Maria, for joining us. I know hopefully we'll get a few more students joining us as well. Joe and I, you're stuck with Joe and I both for this module. Joe, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
I muted myself.
You did.
I was listening to the teacher. Again, Maria, hi, my name is Joe, and I'm right now currently, I do a couple of things at work. I work for SBB College, obviously. I am the student services manager right now. So basically involved with, the things that students have issues, student problems, just in general. I've been working for SBB College for, gosh, 16 years, 17 years, I think. I don't know, so long I already forgot. I have been the dean of Santa Maria, that's even wrong, Santa Barbara, Bakersfield, Ventura. So I've been all around the place with the company. And I'm happy to be here trying to help out in third and fourth week, but I'll kind of poke in. I took that little survey and I thought it was really a lot of fun. So I wanted to take that survey so that I could actually talk to you guys and know what the heck was going on. So anyway, that's a little bit about me. If you have any questions, you can always email me. If you have any issues at all with school, please feel free to give me a call or contact me at the office, okay?
Thank you, Joe. And I'm Andreanna Vargas. We're actually not related. A lot of people ask Joe and I if we're related. We're not, but we are related through SBB College. We are SBB College family. I've been with the college for 6 years now. I wear multiple hats, kind of like Joe. I'm the career services manager for our campus. So I will be helping with externship as well as after you graduate. So I do assist students with their externship and also after they graduate as well. Sorry, I had to go to the bathroom. Yeah, it's my 6-year-old. She never wakes up. So I'm like, oh my goodness, sorry about that. But okay, let's get back on track. Yes, so I'm Andreanna. You're stuck with me from now until after you graduate. And any questions you have with externship, I'm here for you. So that's what this class really sets you up for.
Question on the externship.
Mm-hmm.
When we start externing, is there a site that we do that? Do you guys send us to, or how does it go by that?
For externship, we are going to be covering it in the class during week 3, but yes, you're the one that chooses your site, but I'm here to guide you as to give you some resources on where to go, what would be a good fit. I may suggest some employers and help you with the communication with the employers, but ultimately you're the one that says, yes, I want to do it here, or no, I don't want to do it here. It gives you the opportunity to get a feel for the office to make sure it's a good fit for yourself as well.
Okay, and the hours, I know it's a completed, 180 hours, I believe?
It's 180, which 10 of it is done online in the class. So field hours is 170 over 10 weeks. So it's 17 hours per week for 10 weeks.
17 hours, okay, that's not bad. Yeah, it's because I was wondering, I told my husband, I said, I don't know when I start externing, but I'm gonna need your help more than what I asked for.
Yeah, during that time. And you and we can do a session where I team up with you and we can kind of go over that after week 3, after you read through all the information, and I'll get your externship start date and everything, and then we'll do an orientation. So this class really sets you up for externship. That's what this class is meant to do.
Yeah, because I don't want to feel nervous when I go into a site and like, I don't know what to do.
No, you'll be good. You'll be good.
You're not in field right now, right, Maria?
No, I barely started this year taking classes.
Okay, so then the thing is, you might want to look for. Oh, I got kicked out. No, you moved
I'm
over.
sharing screen.
Yeah. I said, what the heck? You might want to start looking around places that you might want to find a job, because of course the course tries to teach you how to look for a job.
Right.
But in the end, if you struggle or you have some issues, Andreanna will definitely suggest a place. She knows quite a few places in Bakersfield. And maybe some of the other students in that you know over there can even recommend a place or tell you about a job. The idea is that hopefully we'll put you somewhere where you might actually get hired and stay there.
Well, I've actually been looking since I started the beginning of the school year. I started looking, I started applying for jobs. So that job is nothing to me to applying for. It's the when you're getting interviews, sometimes that gets me all nervous and it builds up a blockage for me to say anything.
That's good because we're going to be covering interviewing, and I'm going to show you big interview, and you can start practicing now, and you're going to love that week then because it'll help you a lot. And we do that during week 4, so you're really going to enjoy that. Yeah. And you can definitely, after this class, you know, after, because week 2 we'll do your resume. So let me run through the weeks with you so you can kind of get an idea. So we're in week 1 right now, and week 1 is really just filling in the holes and finding yourself and kind of figuring out what your personalities are, what your goals are, where you want to be. So this week we have the Career Edge assignments, which I'm going to show you real quick. I already know you're an expert at it because you've done it already. So for other students, you would utilize this SBB Edge button and log into your Edge. And this is basically where you're going to live for the next 5 weeks with professional resource development. So in Business 100, you lived in here in College Success. Business 200, you're going to live in here. This is basically week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. Essentially, you can move ahead if you wanted to. If you had more time one week or you have something coming up, you can work on assignments ahead of time in here. You do have additional assignments in the LMS and Moodle, but for these, they're all here for you. And then let me show you real quick week 1, give you an example. So in here you have all your reading. So your reading, you'll open your workbook and it'll take you right where you need to read. Mm-hmm. And then you have all the videos that you need to watch, and you need to watch all of these videos before taking your quiz, your weekly quiz.
Okay.
And I'll show you where your weekly quiz is because it's right here. You have this little take a quiz.
Yeah, it'll set the points up there, but your weekly quiz is on the actual site, huh?
Yeah, and the reason why that is that we can track your quiz results better here than we can in there. So your week is check your understanding quiz right here. You see that?
Yes.
In the class? Okay. So make sure. Where did I go? Where did you go? There we go. Okay. So you'll see all your assignments here. So when you click on an assignment, you're going to want to make sure when you fill it out, if you scroll to the bottom, you have to hit save and you have to hit submit. You can save and work on a little bit later. Let's say you're in the middle of something and then your daughter comes out and you're busy, or one of your kids. You can hit save to save it, and then submit you would hit here. So once you hit submit, you're going to see this little check mark. You see that?
Yeah.
That means you're done with that assignment. So these are all the assignments for this week, for this particular week, for week 1. And I do recommend to watch this video as well. It just kind of goes over the week. He kind of gives you a little brief. All the videos are about 30 seconds to 2 to 3 minutes long. They're not too long. So that would be just like a snapshot into Career Edge. So you're not submitting anything in here in the LMS. So in the LMS, you have your Career Edge assignments here. You don't have to do anything in here because I go in and I check your assignments in Edge. However, it does give you what you need to do. So if you wanted to make sure that you did all your assignments, you can read the titles here as well.
Oh, okay.
And this is where you'll receive your grade and you'll receive comments from me. You can also check your grade book because you can see when I enter comments and your grade here, it'll be in your grade book as well. I do not leave comments in Edge for you. I leave them in, okay? So that everything's in your grade book. So let me go back to week 1. So every week you have your discussion. post, your quiz, and your career edge assignments. All of the weeks you have an additional assignment. Like this one, this professional reference sheet is not an edge assignment. So for this one, you need to submit a Word document, which I can show you. So you have to complete a reference list. So basically you're putting all your references. In Edge, you did a contact list. So you can take that information and draft up your Word document. And there's also, and if I'm going too fast or if you have any questions, please let me know.
No, you're fine.
Okay. There's a sample reference list right here. Any resources that additional resources that you may need for the week are going to be the first thing here.
Yeah, those ones, when you have those set out, I actually print them. It may be good for me later.
Oh, good. Yeah. And honestly, this is a good class to print your stuff. For Edge, though, anything that you do in Edge is always going to be available to you. So,
Yes.
which is good. Because week 2, we're gonna do your resume and your cover letter. So that's what I'm saying about this class. It's like a building block. We're building that portfolio. So you have your reference sheet. Week 2, you're gonna get your resume. You're gonna get your cover letter. So for these, you're gonna also do these in Edge, right here. When you have too many screens going on.
Right.
So we are gonna go here. So the assignments here is your cover letter and your resume builder. If you have a resume already and you're like, I'm confident, it's an amazing resume, you can go ahead and drop it in the Dropbox in the LMS. But if you feel like you need something fresh, then you would use the resume builder here. Okay? So this resume builder really does help you to get a really well formatted resume. Let me show you. When you're done with your resume and I've given you feedback, I do give you the opportunity to resubmit it. So if you got a low score on your resume, you can take my feedback and make some changes to your resume, because I will leave you. I want to show you an example, but
I don't know. It's always cautious. I always have to look at the grades for every course I take and see if I'm doing good or not.
that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. And for the resume though, it's very rare that I give 100% on that assignment, because I want to see where you're at and what changes we can make to make it a stronger resume. So within here, I will leave you a feedback file. So you're gonna do your resume in Career Edge right here. This is your resume builder, and you can create a new resume here. And what happens is, see how I have mine here? I'm gonna go back to, it's gonna not let me do it. If you go back to this little box here, the Success Toolkit, you can go to ePortfolio, and you'll notice my resume is right here. So when you upload your resume, it will move here as well. This is kind of, you'll see in parts of the class, they'll say, update your basic information in your ePortfolio. This is what I'm talking about basic information. We're gonna do a LinkedIn profile, so you would put your URL right here. Basically what this is built to do is, this is your virtual digital portfolio. So once this is saved and you've completed everything here, I can publish your website. So this is my website. So if I published this and you go to this, you can find, as an employer, you can find out all this information. So you could put this on your resume. So a lot of students put this on their resume, so they also have their digital portfolio. So this can also show off your transcripts if you're an amazing student. You don't have to do all of this. I'm just looking for the majority. We're gonna do a thank you letter. You can do that here. Any projects that you've done. So your medical billing coding, Sheila may have you do certain projects that you may want to show off. You can put that in here. You can put a profile photo. We don't do the YouTube video in this class, but it is something that you can do if you'd like to, but it's not a graded part of it. So this is what we're kind of building on for the whole class, is for you to have the digital portfolio and the old-fashioned paper portfolio. So anything that you do, please print it out for your portfolio, keep it in a folder, so that when you start applying for jobs, you can go prepared and you're much more confident. Okay, so let me go back.
That sounds overwhelming and excited.
It's fun, and I mean, honestly, but for the resume one, don't anticipate an A on that assignment. I usually give really low grades and give you feedback and want you to make some further changes. Don't worry so much about the layout or anything like that. I'll fix any errors that I might see with the margin or anything like that. I'll try to help you out with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I usually like to tell students is make sure you save your resume as a PDF file after you have a finalized one in Word. Save a version as a PDF as well, and use that to submit to employers. Okay.
Okay.
So just like they said, the e-portfolio check-in, that is what I'm asking here for you to complete the basic information section there. Your name, your phone number, and all that stuff. So that is not a graded option. I just try to get you to do it so that you're, by the end, you have a full complete portfolio, and I'm not saying, hey, you're missing your basic information, I can't publish your website. And you don't have to have it published, it's totally up to you. Some students like to use it, some students don't. It's really up to you. It's not a forced thing in this class, okay?
Okay.
So then week 3, we'll go over externship, like I mentioned, and job searching strategies. We will do a LinkedIn profile. So I just kind of want to get you to see what you're doing each week so you can time manage. Week 4 is what I love. This is my favorite week. So in the beginning of the class, you see how to register for Big Interview. Have you had the opportunity to do that?
I think I did.
Okay. Okay. So this is what Big Interview looks like.
Yeah.
Okay. So this
I
is
was gonna go into the fast tracking video, but I started maybe 2% of it.
So if you are struggling with interviewing, this will be your best friend. You can do these fast track videos. Basically, this is a interviewing database. So you can watch some of these videos, which is one of the assignments, and then I ask you a few questions to reflect what you learned from the videos. However, the mastery track, it has a lot more information. So if you're struggling with closing an interview or salary negotiations, that's where you would find all of this.
Okay.
Okay. It's great even after, or even at the start of externship, you have your first 90 days. You can review some of these videos to help prepare you for a new job. So that's really helpful as well. Or some students are in the situation where they've worked in field with the same employer, but they need to gain something from their education that they're doing. So we have a negotiation curriculum here as well. So I don't know if you had a chance to go in here, but they're pretty, so these videos are pretty interactive. It tells you how long each of the videos are. It also provides, I need to move us. See, you should be able, they used to have like the transcripts where you can read it too. Like if you didn't want to watch it, you can read it. I'm not seeing that. Okay. So another thing you can do is practice. So here is a bunch of different ways you can practice. They have practice interviews. You can use this, and let's say you're in the medical field, right?
Right.
Maria, so you can go by industry here. and they have a healthcare right here. So these questions that they ask you, see, it says medical billing and coding. So these are the questions you can start with the general interview.
Okay.
So these ones, if I went to Pam, this is what it looks like, okay? So Pam, these are the questions that she's gonna ask you. And then when you hit start recording, it's recording you answering the questions. So this gives you the opportunity to look at yourself and see how you're answering. It's kind of cool.
It's kind of intimidating because I've never recorded myself answering questions like that.
It is. I mean, it is, but it's so amazing to see, because even I've done it myself, because I'm like, you know, what do I look like on the other end of the computer? You know, do I look like a mess? What do I look like? So I've done it before, and I like this because these questions, they're driven to your field. So they're questions that might come up in your situation. I have criminal justice students, you know, that they have to do panel interviews where they have multiple people interviewing them. Lots of times CJ is that way. So there, you can do the same thing by industry, and they have legal, I think it's government, police, yeah, police and law enforcement right here. So any of my CJs would be here. Any of my business, there's marketing here. There's also human resources, management consulting. And what's even nicer about this, like let's say you moved on to the bachelor's, you've been working in your field in medical billing for a while, you're doing, you know, you're a medical biller or a front office, then you want to move up to management, you want to become an office manager. Well, you can do some other sets to kind of prepare you for those more managerial questions that they may ask you. So it's really cool. I really recommend this tool to everyone. Even for myself, I like to use it because you can only get better at interviewing. And the more interviews you do, the more comfortable and confident you'll be. So if you're feeling like interviewing is hard for you, it definitely will assist you to gain that confidence, because you just got to practice. So in this class for week 4, you're going to have an assignment. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is, it says have an assignment code, and I am providing you with a code. So let me go to week 4, and this is the mock interview assignment. This is your code. You see this right here?
Yeah.
So you're going to copy this, and you're going to go back to big interview, and you're going to paste it in there. And it's going to give you a set of questions that, because I have no camera, which is fine. I'm using my camera. So these are the questions that I have put together for all students to complete, no matter your program. So these are not program specific. They're more general interview questions. If you want me to make you a special code for additional questions, I'm happy to do that as well for any of the students. So, okay. So this is what you would complete. You would record yourself, and then within here, I'm able to provide you with feedback on every question. And when I'm grading this assignment, this is for everyone. When I grade this assignment, I just want to see effort and passion. And honestly, if you, it's not a assignment you can fail. If you do it, you pretty much, you get your full points. But I'm looking to see where I can help you. So I know a lot of students are hesitant to do it because they feel like they're not going to get a good grade. So I don't want you to feel that way at all. It's
Oh no.
no.
My motivation is to succeed. Keep going up. Don't go down.
And honestly, it really helps me to kind of see, because I don't get to meet you, you know, I'm an online instructor. You don't get to meet me in person. So this really helps me to see where I can help you. Okay. So I encourage all students to complete this, and it's kind of fun. It's fun. I do encourage students to dress up for it if you can, if you have any, you know, interview attire. If you don't have attire and you need some, let me know, send me an email, and I'll get you in touch with some nonprofit organizations that do help students get their interview attire. Okay. So that's something I can definitely do for you guys.
Okay.
So, yeah, so this is great. This is big interview. I wanted to introduce it to you early on in the class, just so that you have it available to you as well. And then week 5, fun week 5. The week 5 is a lot, just because, but it's something that you can be doing now and kind of do a little bit of each week. So week 5, you still have your career edge assignments, but you have your informational interview. So what is an informational interview? You're basically contacting, it could be a family friend, it can be your own doctor, it could be, someone you cold called or met on LinkedIn or communicated with on LinkedIn, or, if you're having trouble finding someone to interview, let me know. But this is basically like if you really want to do your externship, let's say you're in Bakersfield, so I'm going to say Centric Healthcare. You really want to do your externship at Centric Health. You say, hey, Andreanna, I really want to become a part of this organization. I can look to see if I have any graduates working there, okay? And I can even get you in touch. You can do it over the phone. This interview can be taken place over the phone. You can set up a Skype. You can do it in person. It's totally up to you, okay? It's a fun assignment. It's really a great opportunity to get your foot in the door with someone, like with an organization that you really want to work for. And many times the office managers are impressed by a student saying, hey, I'm a student in SBB college. I really want to learn more about the field. Do you mind answering a few questions for me? Or can we set up an appointment for me to come in and I can gain some information from you? So that's a way you can sell it. Many times I have students ask for past grads, which is I'm totally a-okay with, or even family friends that work in the medical field. So if you know anyone that works in the medical field, or if you're in love with your kid's pediatric office or one of your own doctors, you can definitely do that as well. Okay. So the information for week 5 is also in the beginning of the class. So you'll see here, week 5 planning document, and then you have your informational interview assignment instructions. So within the instructions, you'll see here. So here's the instructions, and these are all the questions here. So you already have the questions. So if one of your friends is a medical assistant somewhere, you can do this interview tomorrow, okay? So it's something that could be knocked out right away. And you basically, on a Word document, you fill in their responses to these questions, and then at the end, I'm kind of asking, what did you learn from it? Do you still want to work in this field? Sometimes students will do an interview and they're like, I don't know if this is for me. So this is a good way to gain some confidence, kind of see where you're at in your development cycle as well, and also to gain a point of contact in the field. So this is definitely a good assignment to review, and it is due at the end of the class. And I suggest know who you're interviewing by the end of week 3. If you don't, send me a message. I will get you in touch with someone. Okay. So then we also we discussed earlier the volunteer experience assignment. So this assignment is basically a way for you to get involved within your community. So we talk a lot about networking in this class this weekend, week 3. This is where you would have the opportunity to volunteer somewhere in your community. It does not have to be in your field of study. Doesn't necessarily have to be in your field of study. I'm just looking for you to gain some confidence of getting yourself out there and doing this volunteer assignment. So like in Bakersfield, there are a lot of, there's the rescue mission, there's the Bakersfield Homeless Shelter. I'm sure there's some veteran organizations as well. There's a lot of nonprofits in pretty much every city you can think of that are always holding events, or even at your school, like if your kids are in school or doing summer camp, those are opportunities as well. But like I said, if you are having trouble finding a place to volunteer, please let me know and I will help you out. Okay, so this is pretty much what's due in week 5. And all of the assignments are very straightforward. They're really meant to build your portfolio and then also get you confident with getting yourself out there.
I wish I already started this like 2 weeks ago because I volunteer with my son's pre-K, helping out with the teaching stuff.
Okay, so if you did it and it was recent, go take your form in and have her sign off for it. You know, I'm okay with that. Especially for kids. I know you have kids and you you know, it's busy. Busy. So you can definitely do that. And especially if you've learned from it and you were helping out, that's a great way to get engaged with the community as well. Because it's not only important if it's in your field, which it's nice if you do pick something that's in your field because you never know what it's going to turn into.
Right.
But I mostly that assignment specifically is just for you to get out there, to kind of get comfortable with getting out there. Okay.
Okay.
So this is Business 200. We're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to find out more and more about yourself. I am here to counsel you and mentor you. I'm not here to criticize at all. So I'm basically here to support you throughout this class. So please just, if you over communicate with me if you can. Joe will be covering for me for about a week and a half to 2 weeks in the class. You'll still get grades from me from your assignments, but he will be covering me while I'm on vacation.
Okay.
And you're in good hands. Joe's good. So, any
We'll all
questions?
learn together.
Right? You all learn together. Any questions?
No.
No? Okay, well,
I'm just ready to learn this.
yeah, and next week I won't be covering so much navigation of the class. Next week I'll be giving you tips on your resume. So we'll actually be covering like some topics in the class as well.
Okay.
This week I just really wanted to give you guys a snapshot of how to be successful in this class because I want everybody to get A's in this class.
Okay.